Yo, what's up guys? We are back. Alright, so earlier today I did the announcement that we will soon be doing Nintendo 64 and Nintendo Gamecube content, as well as potentially other consoles such as the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, etc. If I can find those and make sure that they're still working. However, I did not go over the games that I have for those two consoles, and I'm really excited because I did some digging around, and I was able to find this. Ugh, this box here, and in this box is every Nintendo 64 game and every GameCube game that I currently own. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of GameCube games. I used to have like 30 or 40 of them. Now I'm down to, I think, 3. And I lost a lot of them in the flood. But my entire Nintendo 64 collection is here. I didn't lose any of those. But in the floods, I did lose nearly my entire GameCube collection. Thankfully, Super Mario Sunshine still here. So that's mwah. I'm not actually gonna kiss it because it's super dusty. But there you go. So we're gonna take a look at what we got here. The only GameCube games I have left out of my entire collection, because the rest of it was swept away in the flood, they're probably off in the woods somewhere, is Super Mario Sunshine, Tony Hawk's Underground, which I actually had a lot of hours in this game, and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Those are the only GameCube games I have left. All the other ones are gone. I literally had like 30 or 40 games. They're all gone now, so that's a bit of a disappointment. But my entire Nintendo 64 collection is here. All the games I had as a child, they're here. So that's nice. My other controller is here. This one, the thumbstick is a little wonky. I mean, it is super, super old though, so that's okay. This is actually the one that came with the console, so this is the one that got the most use. I have the gold controller over there sitting on top of the console. I also have, let's see. I don't know why I have this. I guess it went to one of my GameCube games that I no longer have. But it's a microphone for the GameCube. It takes the one of the memory card slots, and then you have a microphone. I don't know what game that was for, but it's in here. I don't have a game for it anymore. And I also have a microphone for the Nintendo 64. And this one, I actually do have a game that uses it. So this one, you see, it's got this big box here. You know, nowadays, it would just be a straight wire. There wouldn't be a need for this giant box. But basically, you have this giant box, and the microphone plugs into the top. It's just a standard 3.5 millimeter audio. Goes right in the top there. And then here's the actual microphone. And then the other end is a proprietary plug that goes into the N64. So there you go. So I actually do have a game that uses this. Now, I don't know if the microphone actually works anymore. I haven't tested it yet, but I assume it does. Now let's get into the games, because there's quite a few here. Some of these I like a lot more than others. Some of these I haven't even played, because they were just given to me by a friend of mine before I moved. And some of these are some pretty shitty games. Let's start off with, you know what, let's start off with the bad ones, and we'll work our way up to the good ones. And I think probably the worst ones in this pile, let's see, Well, this one I never played, so I'm not sure where it would. Well, we'll start with the one that I never played, and that is Dark Rift for the N64. This was given to me by a friend of mine, and it's actually from a Blockbuster. So I don't know how he got it. He might have stole it, but I don't know. Um, but it was given to me by a friend of mine before I moved to where I am now. I've never played it, so we might have to check that out. Next, we'll start with what I think is the worst game out of this entire pile, unless this one is really bad, and that is Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Right there. It's got my name written right on the front of it. But, that was my favorite style of Power Rangers. The ones where they had the red, or whatever color they were, whatever ranger they were, and then, like, the white, like, almost like checkered pattern, or like the red ranger kind of looks like a mint, for some. That was my favorite style of Power Ranger. But, yeah, this game is shit, dude. This is, oh, it's such a bad game. But I have it, you know. Little childhood me saw Power Rangers and it's like, yo, that's gonna be awesome. Got home, totally disappointed. But that's how it was back then, you know? We didn't have the online reviews and all this. It was just like, you go based off of what's on the cover, and you're like, that looks cool. You get home, and you pray that it's a good game. I think moving on from that, probably one of the next up bad games in here. I actually don't have too many bad games in here, but I think this one I would classify as a bad game. Don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun playing this game as a child, for one reason, and that's because there was a fishing mode in the game, and I would just play the fishing mode like nonstop. And that is Hey You Pikachu. This is the game that actually uses the microphone. And the only reason I classify this as a bad game is because it was technology that was kind of new at the time, and it feels more like a tech demo than a game. But I did play this for several hours as a kid. So, you know, we'll move on from there. And then, you know, other than that, I think that's the only bad games in this pile. So, we got 2 bad games out of the entire pile, which is pretty good, I think. No, not... there's definitely some of these I enjoy more than others. And there's some of these in here that are just like, you know, kind of the cream of the crop for their era. So at this point, I'm just gonna kind of pull games out, and I'll save the best ones for last. So we got Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Not necessarily a bad game, but you know, I wouldn't. It's an okay game. It's a racing game. So that's, you know, it's like every other racing game at the time. Moving on, we have another racing game. This one is NASCAR 2000. So there we go. And this says, property of Blockbuster. Okay, so this one's a Blockbuster game too. I don't know why I have 2 Blockbuster games in here, but there we go. Do people still remember what Blockbuster is? Okay, then we got, let's see, I'm saving the best ones for last. So, let's see, we got Mario Tennis. That's pretty good game. I actually remember getting this. I got this way after the fact. And it was because one of the rental places nearby was going out of business, so they were selling all their stuff. And I was like, ooh, $5 for Mario Tennis? I'll take that. I think that's how much I paid for it. I actually don't remember. Conker's Bad Fur Day. This one I actually got from my ex-girlfriend. I don't know if she wants it back or not. I haven't heard from her about it. So either she forgot that I had it or she doesn't care. But this one actually came from my ex-girlfriend. And I have played it, so there we go. It's interesting to say the least. Um, let's see. Here we go. We got. Let's see. Moving on into Double O 007, we have Double O 007 GoldenEye. And we also have Double O 007 The World Is Not Enough there. Then we have, let's see, we're starting to get into the good stuff here, so I have to hold off on some of these. Let's see, we got Diddy Kong Racing, which was kind of like Mario Kart, except it was like almost like an open world kind of thing. It was very interesting for its time. And I remember playing this, a lot. This was actually one of the first games I got for the console, because my parents picked it out when they bought me the console. They're like, that looks fun. And you know what? It was fun, for the time. It was also very frustrating. It's one of those where the fuck do I go kind of games. But, so we have that. Moving on, keeping on with the Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong thing, we have Donkey Kong 64. I remember buying this game. I distinctly remember going over to EB Games in the New Orleans Metairie Mall area, which, if you don't know what EB Games is, they were a game store. And then they got bought out, and now all of the EB Games locations are now GameStop. But before it was GameStop, it was EB Games. And, I remember going over to the EB Games, and it was late night, probably 6, 7 p.m., somewhere around there. And I saw this game, and I was like, Mom, can I have it? Can I have it? She's like, sure. And we got it. We get home. And I cried. Not because the game is bad, this is actually a pretty good game, but because I didn't know it required memory upgrade for the system. So I got home, I plugged it in, it's like, oh, you need to upgrade to play the game. So my mom, love her to death, drove me all the way back out to the EB Games, which she was pissed. She was pissed, and we got the memory upgrade, and I was able to play it. Pretty solid game there. So, we're getting down to the good stuff here. I think everything else in here I would consider to be like, if you own an N64, you pretty much have to own these games. And we're down to the last 6. So, we'll start with the Pokemon stuff here. So we got Pokemon Snap. Very disappointed there was never like a sequel to it. Or at least not to my knowledge. Then we have Pokemon Stadium. Now I don't have Pokemon Stadium 2, but I do have the original. Now we'll move on to some of the Mario stuff here. Actually, hold on. No, I am missing a game here. Okay. I just realized I am missing a game. I don't know where it is. That's a disappointment. It was, Super Mario 64. The infamous game that set the standard of a 3D, game. 3D platformer. And, it's not here. So that's scary. I'm gonna have to track that down. But we also have Mario Kart 64, which again, I played a lot of this. Very frustrating. We have the original Super Smash Bros. Check that shit out. Look, I got this like when it was a new game. Original price tag, $30. You can't get a AAA title for 30 bucks brand new nowadays. That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And then we have the Zelda games. We have Ocarina of Time and Gold Cartridge Majora's Mask. So, there you go. So, we have quite the stack of games here. Look at that. Now, put all these back in the box. I don't know where Super Mario 64 is. That kind of freaks me out that it's not in this box. Worst case scenario, if I can't find it, I can buy another cartridge, because they actually have a place down the road that still sells 64 games. I mean, it's like a 3-hour drive, but for Super Mario 64, it would be worth it. Anyway, so that is my entire collection as of right now. Let me put this back in there. There we go. I got Eevee kind of situated with all the plushies now, since that's my new one. I know it doesn't really fit the FNAF theme, but I'm thinking I'm gonna start getting some other like themes and maybe swap them out every once in a while. So like, this is the first Pokemon plush that I have, so maybe we'll get some more Pokemon plushies, and we'll swap them out every now and then or something. I don't know. But anyway, so that's a look at my entire collection as of right now for GameCube and Nintendo 64. I'm disappointed that Super Mario 64 isn't in there. I know I own that game. That was literally like the second game I got for the console. I know I own it. Don't know where it is though, so that's scary. I hope it wasn't lost in the flood, because that would be like broken heart there. Again, I can get a replacement cart if I have to. But, you know, owning the original one that I had as a child is something that it's a sentimental thing that you can't just buy, you know. Just like that N64 over there. I know you guys can't see it, but you saw it in the last video. That is my original N64 that I got as a child, and my very first video game console I ever owned. Had I not got that N64, who knows? I might not be here making these videos. I might not be doing these things, because that's what started me out with video games. But, you know, I'll try to locate where Super Mario 64 went. If I can't find it, I'll buy a replacement. Let me know if there's any GameCube or N64 games you guys would like me to check out, because I know a place like 3 hours away that sells all sorts of retro, you know, old stuff, all the way back to like Atari to Xbox One, PlayStation 4. Like, they sell everything in between. So if I have to, I'll get a replacement cart. And if there's any games you guys would like me to check out for those two consoles, if it's not super expensive, I might buy a few games. You know, who knows? We'll see where this goes. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, you know, the games that I currently have. And you guys can let me know if there's any of these games that you guys would like me to do a video on. I think Hey You Pikachu I kind of have to do a video on. But if there's any games here you guys would like to see, once I get all this set up with the new setup, you know, I'm open to suggestions. I got, what, like, probably 20 games here, roughly. Yeah, we could do some stuff. not to mention, I have like 60 plus games for the Xbox here, as well as another like 30 or 40 that are downloaded. So, anyway, that's gonna wrap this video up here. I just wanted to show you guys what games I have, and you guys can let me know which ones you'd like to see. But thank all you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to become one of the ground babies, and I'll see all you guys next time. Goodbye, guys.